Alright. Gotta get this load of beans hauled in this morning. Didn't get them hauled in last night because Dad and I ran till I think we finally got back to the house with the tractor and cart around 8:30. So the elevator had been closed for an hour and a half at that point. I never even saw how much he got in the truck because he filled it up while I was still on the combine. Then we got some down there at the house in the grain cart yet, but it ain't enough to make a full load, so I think when I get back I'm just going to dump it in the truck and leave it till we get back on beans again. Come on, girl. Yeah, how much we got in here? I bet if I really wanted to, I can cram that cart in there, but I'd have to drive awful slow to keep it from rolling off the side, so we'll just roll with it. Going heavy load to begin with. Maybe I wouldn't want to try to crank. Oh, damn. Just have a really good test weight because I know they weren't wet enough to be that heavy. Yesterday was one really damn frustrating day too. Dude, so damn heavy in the morning on top of the rain that we had. Or no, it didn't rain Saturday. Days are getting off. But dude, so heavy in the damn morning on top of the fact that they were wet the night before. And then it took forever for it to warm up out. And then the wind didn't even kick up till about 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish. So the dew didn't get burned off till almost 1:30. And even then, there were still spots that had dew on it at 2:30, 3 o'clock where there had been shadows. And I know there was a lot of guys chomping at the bit because, well, to start off, I was trying to keep my mind off of combining because I have nothing left to wrench on. Everything's fixed and ready to go. So basically I had nothing to do except wait, sit around, run combine, and a couple hours in the morning for the dew to kind of half-ass start to settle off a little bit. It didn't really ever do anything, so I finally gave up on waiting. But I went and chopped the last field of corn stalks I had to get chopped. Still got 2 more fields to run, but everything that's run is chopped now. And got done with that about must have been about 11 o'clock, 11:15, somewhere in there. I got back to the house. And I drove over to that field I started out in yesterday. Checked it, and they were still a little doughy. So I came back to the house and sat and waited and thought about it. And I was like, well, I'll go check a different field. So I went down and checked the one I got in Indiana. It was the same thing, still too doughy. This was about 1 o'clock by this point. So I went and drove down from Indiana back to that field I started out at. Still too doughy. But they were right, they felt like they were right there on the verge. I was like, well, I'll give it an hour. I'll come over here at 2 and try to run it. Holy crap, series, that's mud that corn out big time. But, we sat around the house for another hour and waited. Actually, we did a little maintenance stuff on this thing while we were waiting for that. And, finally got over there and started combining. Well, it didn't even start, I wouldn't even call it started combining. I ran about 20 feet to get enough in the hopper to pull a moisture sample. 16%. Ah! So, at that point, I didn't honestly know if I was going to be able to run at all. So, came back to the house and stood around for another couple hours, waited till about 4 o'clock. Like, alright, if it ain't ready by now, they aren't going to be ready at all today, so headed back over there. Tested them. I got out of the same cup on the moisture tester, I got 14.5, 15.1, and 15.2. I was like, well, this is weird. So that's the point when I called down to the elevator and asked them what they take, and they told me they'd take it. So I was like, well, shit. You gotta go when you gotta go, and the weather's not gonna get any better at this point. So we ran. I'm glad I did, because by the time I got to that point where I was running at night, they were testing about 13.8, 13.9, so kind of curious to see what this whole load tests out. Actually, there's actually 3 fields crammed in here, but those 3 fields only constituted about it's either 10 or 11 acres, and the reason I'm not sure why is because 2 of them are fields I'm farming for the first time this year. I didn't have time to do a sat map of them. Who the hell is cutting hay in October? The end of October at that field ain't gonna come back worth a shit next spring. It is way too late for that. All in all, let's see, we didn't do too bad because didn't get running good till 4 o'clock, and I'd say it was 8:15 or so by the time I finally dumped the last hopper in the grain cart. So road time, because I had to travel between them, and then about 2.5, 3 acres. I don't know the exact size of the field, because it's one of the new ones. I had to mud it out, so that took forever. I hated to have to do it, but they were testing 14. So I wanted to get them off. There was a spot where there was water standing, so if I didn't get them off, they were just going to start molding anyway. But what's done is done, so I guess I'm just curious to see what this load tests at. Holy shit, there is actually somebody out working ground in this slop. They're gonna regret that. Granted, it's a little sandier down here south of the state line, but holy shit, there's water standing. Right here, we're all Pioneer seed corn this year. I actually scouted them a couple times when I was working for them. That's how you always know it's a seed cornfield, if there's nothing planted out in the headlands. They don't plant anything there so that they don't get any seed mixes, and if there is anything there, they'll usually put 6 male rows in and then chop them after they go through and cut the male rows out. When they do that, they call them buffer zones. They usually put them in there to eat up any pollen that'll come in from neighboring cornfields. But like I say, that was seed cornfields right across the road from each other, so they didn't have to put any buffer zones in. Power plant right there. Holy shit, there's actually a line. And I bet money most of them are beans from yesterday. They're putting in a new big ass power plant right there, and the reason they're putting that up is because at some point they're supposed to be putting in a new Toyota plant down here. Ironic part was everybody got all excited about it. Oh, they're going to bring in new construction jobs here, all this yada yada yada. What's the first thing they did? Brought in their own out-of-state contractors to do all the work, so they didn't create a damn thing. That's what people never get about them big construction projects. Those companies already have the contractors lined up. They aren't going to hire any local guys.
Saturday, sending them to the World Series for the first time.
The Toyota plant was the part that really pissed me off. And the sole reason for building that power plant is to feed the Toyota plant. And at first people thought they were going to build the power plant and sell the excess power off to the neighboring communities. Nope, it's all going to the Toyota plant.
Alaska and Hawaii weren't at until 59. Since the last Bucks win, 18 different presidents have been elected and 11 amendments have been added to the Constitution. The Eiffel Tower in Paris was plastic helmets because plastic was still being invented.
Alrighty, well, I'm just gonna be sitting here in line for a little bit, so
All kinds of changes.
yeah. Figured I'd show this part so you could see what was going on. That's the probe they use to pull the samples out of the truck. For those that have never hauled into an elevator before. Simple as that. Big old vacuum. Alrighty. Yeah, you can tell how bad of a year it's been harvest-wise. Well, that in fact, grain prices are shit. Normally by this time that ground pile's almost full. They ain't even got half of it yet. Holy line, it's even longer over here. Pretty damn sure from what I've been seeing, they're all beans too. I'm sure by 4 o'clock yesterday when they finally dropped down to around 15%, guys were going, yep, time to go. And then the wind stayed up, so they could have ran probably till at least midnight. I had to quit because I got done with that one field, and to get anywhere else I'd had to go 7 miles in either direction, so I wasn't about to move that far at night. And they just keep on showing up. Well, it took me long enough to get back here. I was right. Pretty much everybody in line was beans. Actually got to the point the bean line was so damn long they started letting the corn guys cut in lines. I think there was only 3 guys with corn in line, and there was like, I bet easily 15 trucks in here. And they actually stopped the guys over at the scale on the other side of the tracks. So I had to let this side clear out because they're also pulling out of them concrete silos back behind me and hauling over the ground pile, so that didn't help traffic flow none. I can't really do a whole lot to improve it because they're kind of landlocked. This elevator was built back in '82. There's a date plaque right here on this middle concrete silo. Back then it was just the 5 concrete ones and then the dryer and the pits. They didn't have these steel ones yet. Those got put in later. And then the ground pile just got put in a few years ago. But that track right there is the South Shore, which runs from South Bend to Chicago. And they're complete assholes, and they won't let them put, even though it'd be like 80 something feet up in the air, they won't let them put an overhead conveyor from here over to the ground pile. They won't even let them tunnel under, even though they tunnel under railroad tracks around here all the damn time. South Shore won't let them do it for some damn reason. say, this is the first. This is the first time all year I've had to wait in line down there. I think Dad's only had to wait in line once, and I know it wasn't this bad. So I remember in 2012, which was the year everything was coming out of the field perfectly dry. I mean, corn was coming out at 15% or less, beans were coming out 10-11% or lower. There was actually guys running pivots on top of dry beans to bring the moisture back up so they wouldn't sickle shatter so bad. But that year, since nobody had to dry anything, there was lines down here every single day. That guy's looking at me like I'm an idiot because I'm talking to myself. But there's good years and there's bad years. This one's definitely been a bad year, because even in the alright years, you usually have to wait, at least in short line. It's been the first year where we've basically never had to wait in a line down here. Wet spot in there. There's a big old hanger right in the center of the box. Not that I'm a big deer fan, but that 379 Pete right there is freaking awesome. They got a cool paint scheme on it. It's painted up like a 10 series deer, like a 7710, something like that. Had to go around the control box. I lost sight of him. There he is. live in today is this truck's got rear controls on it. I can run it from back there by the doors. But for liability reasons, they can't run it back there. Which is stupid because them guys dump enough trucks in a day, you know they know how to run it. It'd be a whole lot better because they know what they want done. One thing you never do it, or well, one thing you always do at an elevator is you never make a damn move until they give you a signal. The only thing I do is I come in here and I kick the hydraulics on, that's it. Don't touch box controls, don't do nothing until I can see them in the mirror. And with beans it ain't so bad, but especially with corn if it's a little wet, it could hang up in the front of the box, and all of a sudden once it gets a hole tore back there, it'll come slamming down. If them guys aren't out of the way, someone could get hurt. So you just always make sure you can see everybody in the mirror. Don't see too many Sterling tractors around. I've never actually seen that one before. I wonder whose farm that is. Moment of truth. Let's see what we got here. Hells yeah. 252.5 bushel, 14.3%, so no moisture dock. No damage. 0.7% of moisture, or 0.7% of corn material. That's how it's done right there, boys. Perfect load. And since it was running a little wet, there was hardly any damn sickle shatter. Stop over here at the Helena real quick and then we'll head on back. Alright, get this cartload put in the truck and call her good for the morning. Actually, it's almost noon already. I had to wait down there at the elevator for a while. there's probably another 60, 70 bushel in the cart maybe. Toy ever. Now, how much of a pile we put in there? Probably not a very big one. Not too bad. Say it's at least full, pretty close to a full hopper off the 525. There might be. Yeah, I don't know, it's always hard to judge sitting here in a truck, but anyway, everything put away, and I guess that does it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.